minutes, but that tip alone is huge, all right? That tip alone is major. So you schedule the reading during a time when you're nice and alert, and then it retrains the body so that you're not getting tired every time that you open a book, all right? And so for that reason, do it when you're alert and awake. And then I won't go into it anymore at this moment, but then the next thing is you really train yourself to, when most people read, they go through and they say the words to themselves in their head. The medical profession became threatened by Palmer's chiropractors as well as homeopathic healers, and they're saying that in their mind, all right? Now, that is actually a very slow way to read because you can only read and comprehend as fast as one could speak, but the brain can comprehend way faster than that. And so, again, it takes practice, but you train yourself to read just by sight. And you start with using the finger and skimming over the words, and you just look at the words, and you don't have any conversation in your mind. And it takes a minute, it takes some practice to get into it, but once you get into it, it's way, way faster. You can just kind of skim you can just look at it, and it works the way the brain works. So, yeah, those are the tips as far as reading. Hello, Ursula. Good morning, everyone, she says. Graham, what's up, my friend? They let you on here today? Says Nate, where art thee? Yes, here art thou. Hello, Pan. Good to see you here. South Africa in the house. Ireland is in the house. Fort Wayne's in the house. And Arizona. All right, guys. Good morning, Nate, and all from Garden City, Kansas. Hello, Brian. Amiable. Hello from North Carolina. All right. Maggie Smith says, it's easy to lose track of time when you are gardening. Nate, we didn't get the beginning. Didn't get the beginning. Yep, well, here you are now, okay? So that is what matters. So, but I like to hear that you're gardening. This is fantastic. Nancy, what's up, my friend? Blessings from Chattanooga. Yes, I bet you guys are having still pretty good growing weather down there. I've been getting updates from the garden installation that I did in Tennessee, and it is a beautiful, thriving food production system. I mean, an acre in total of just food, no weeds, huge tomato plants already, huge pepper plants, enormous squash. I mean, it's a sight of beauty. And I look at it and I show people, it's just crazy. A piece of my heart is there. You know, when I do like a real garden installation like that, I invest, my heart in many ways. So Doug, the wood butcher, hello from Kalamazoo. What's up, my friend? Odin, Kentucky is thriving right now. Finally, Dome. Okay, so Kentucky, yeah, Kentucky, they're kind of a happy medium, aren't they? Is the Kentucky the South or not? Can we agree? Can we decide, is Kentucky South or not? PA, what's up, my friend from Portugal? Just came out the garden, weeding as well. It's always a good time in the garden, guys. Me too. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm applying some aerated compost teas. Mills Variety, hello from Van Wert, Ohio, not too far. Voltage Nut, what's up, my friend? Serbia, is that right? Is that where you're from? 8A Gardening and Clay, Virginia is here. Guys, listen to all these places that we're at. We're all here right now, but all over the world, this amazing technology. And this is why even once we become awake to the course that things are going and what technology is sort of designed to do eventually and things, we can still, once we awaken ourselves, we can break free from where they are taking us. That's why there's no fear, because we can use things like this technology that some could say is designed to enslave our mind or designed to, move the actions of society and things. Yes, that can be true until you awaken. Then it's game over. Everything changes. And then we can selectively use technology to our advantage for something like this. We can all be here now, getting this soaked in positive energy and community feeling, all of that. And all of you people that is watching right now, you would not know me and I would not know you in any way. We would have not exchanged inspiration or energy or knowledge or any of that without this beautiful technology. So it definitely can be used in the right way. And I feel like this is the right way. So Nancy says, so happy to hear the Tennessee installation is thriving. I had faith that it would be the case with application of your knowledge and love. Yes, my friend, thank you. Definitely it is. And but it's really nice when you do something with someone or for someone. How many of you understand this? When you help someone do something, it's really nice when they have the passion in them as well, and the means, both physically and financially, the means to do and implement what you're talking about. So they got the passion, they got the means physically and financially to do the stuff. And so they just want to learn and they just want to become the best at what they are now wanting to get into. And so they brought me down there, and man, he's doing everything that I've suggested. He's doing it immediately. And so that's why he's having just phenomenal success. It's not like, oh, well, yeah, we didn't get around to that. No, he's like, boom, gets his Bobcat out and burn, does all kinds of stuff, boom, implements it, and so that's why it's thriving. That's why it's thriving. Pam, Two-Way Street, that's right. Jimps Entertainment TV, Zone 9, Toronto, Canada. Toronto is in Zone 9? What do you mean? Is that a typo? How did I not realize that? Jenny Simone. Super windy here for 3 weeks on the West Coast. Finally slowed down. Gotta be better prepared next year in a new location. First season in the location. Went from Ocean Shores, Washington to Coos Bay, Oregon. Man, I bet that is... I love the Northwest Coast, the weather. I just love that kind of weather. Val says 25% chance of rain here in northern Arizona. All right. Maggie Smith says, yes, south. Okay, Kentucky is the south? All right, that settles it then. Vera Witch says, no rain in Belgium, at least 4 weeks. Yes, is that normal or not for you? Mataka, hello, my friend. I think it's been a while since I've seen you. Gardens in SoCal are suffering from this manufactured weather. Yes. Now, many of us are... Well, I won't get into that at the moment. Never mind. Donna Tarrant. Hello, my friend. Green from East Texas. I tried raw liver this morning. I have so much energy. It is from liver or syrup. It is from the combination. Good job. So Donna, guys, tried the raw beef liver, and this is fantastic. I'm telling you, it's the most nutrient-dense food on the planet. You eat it raw, you get all kinds of enzymes and bioflavonoids and all kinds of bioavailable nutrients and things that help the body to thrive. B vitamins, no supplement that you take can compare to the real deal of raw beef liver. What it can do, it's got the brain minerals in it, all the B vitamins and all of the good, it's a vitamin A, and it's got all the stuff in huge quantities too, iron. And so then you have it with a little bit of maple syrup, real maple syrup, not like Aunt Jemima, but real maple syrup. Then you're getting all those nutrients as well. And so it's just a fantastic thing, guys. And it's so easy to consume, so easy to digest. And it just floods the body with the goodness. Yeah. It may, though, be prepared. It may make your urine quite dark for a little while, because of all the blood and all the minerals and the iron and all that stuff. So, but it's good. It's no problem. Let's see here. Rain on the way from East Texas, says Donna. Yeah, I heard you guys been having a rainy year. JT Jr. grows at Alaska. Hello from Alaska. All right, my friend. What's the weather like there? Vera Witch says, what is normal? That's a really good point, actually. And that is something that when you hear so many people talking about it's the hottest day on record, or it's the wettest year on record. What they're really saying is, okay, the last 100 years maybe, since real records began with instrumentations and stuff, maybe even 500 years or so. But in that geological timescale, that means nothing. That's just like the blink of an eye. And so, yeah, when people talk about the drought or the weather's changing or even the climate and all of that stuff is constantly changing, and we don't really understand hardly anything. That's the truth of it. I mean, that's what I've, based upon my life experience and the research I've done and the traveling and all of this, and just knowing that we don't really know. And so, yeah, that's a very good point, Vera. What is normal? There really isn't a normal, because how far back do you want to go? And so when people say the hottest day on record, that doesn't really mean much to me, because that's just a poof, blink of an eye in a geological timescale, So are we talking in the past 50 million years, or are we talking in the past 50 years? So that's a huge, huge difference. So the main thing, though, looking at life from that standpoint, looking at the weather and normalcy from that standpoint, the real thing of it is to build resilience. This is the primary thing, and this is what I have been focusing on for several years in all aspects of life, in the garden, in food supply, in the body. Doing calisthenics all the time, and just breathing exercises, cold training, resilience in the mind. Voluntarily, sauna and cold training are voluntarily putting yourself into high stress situations so that you can then take control. I mean, the ice, as many of you know, the ice is a major stressor on the body. I mean, it goes, blah, 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 red alert, all the signals are firing, get out, the panic. But no, you take control. You take control and you become the driver at that point. And so when you practice doing that, you build incredible resilience to all aspects of your life. Any kind of stressor then becomes sort of small in comparison to the extreme cold and the extreme heat. So these are building resilience practices. Also, the breathing exercises is building resilience in the blood and the lungs, inducing more. When we do the breath retentions, that's inducing more red blood cells to be produced. So many good benefits from all of this. This is all building resilience. And so that is what I feel is the most important aspect of a changing climate or a changing world, a changing economic climate. Are you financially resilient? Do you have multiple streams of different kinds of income? This is very important and will be more important in the future. This is the lifeblood. I mean, because in our current world, you have to have money. I mean, that is how things are exchanged. That is how it happens. And so is your currency flow fragile because you want to fragilize your currency flow, meaning that you want different sources of income, some residual, some passive income kind of things, some investments, all of that kind of stuff. That is how we build the resilience. Some precious metals, some resources, land. Do you have land? This is the main thing that I am not having at the moment, but will in the future, of course. But the land, the animals, the building materials, the knowledge, the skills, these are all huge things to have, okay? So let us see here. Doug the Wood Butcher says, today is like today. Yeah, that's a very good point. That's a good way to say it, yes? And hello, Elena says, hello from Western North Carolina. Nights in the low 50s, upper 40s. Craziness. Is that crazy for North Carolina? Because that's about what we're at. PA says, define normal. What's normal to the spider is utter chaos to the fly. That's another good saying, man. You guys are full of the good catchphrases today, huh? Deportees Destiny says, I'm late. Good to be here, though. Hello, my friend. Glad you are here. What is that flag? What kind of flag is that? I can't see. Where are you from, Deportees? Let's see. Val says, I might have to try it. Just the look of liver puts me off. I could close my eyes. Yes, you can close your eyes, but the body will, as soon as you take it and you absorb it and the body senses and feels the experience of what it's doing for the body and mind, then it will adjust your taste. It will adjust your craving. It will adjust all of that for you because it will say, oh, yes, we want this. And so you will then crave it. Like when I think of it right now, we've been talking about it, my mouth is watering. And I am thinking, man, some good raw beef liver right now would be good. So let me hydrate, okay? Ms. KC says, which kind of liver is best, most nutritious? We're going to go with grass-fed, grass-finished raw beef liver. Yes, and so it's very important that it's grass-fed, grass-finished. We don't want them eating a bunch of GMO corn and soybeans and antibiotics and all kinds of garbage. So you really need to source a good supply of clean, grass-fed, grass-finished beef. And this is what we use to make the raw beef liver, the beef tallow, the bone broth from my gardening channel. all of those things, is with the totally grass-fed. So you want them to just eat the natural diet, not to be force-fed any GMO corn or soybeans, okay? Because that produces toxins that they're not meant to deal with. So that's what we want to do, all right? Donna says, the price of land right now is crazy expensive. Just bought 7 acres far away from the city. Just have to wait to retire to move there. Okay, 7 acres, that's doable, definitely. You could make do with that. Sounds really good. Big Brain Content says, Inshallah, we shall secure land for our living capital. Yes, this would be wonderful, my friend, Inshallah. So Natalie Dumont says, hi, jumping in. Hello, my friend. And Fabrizio says, I noticed my red wigglers eat my IMO mycelium. Does that mean my mycelium is eliminated by the red wigglers? I remember you briefly mentioning that worms were evasive to fungal life. I don't think I mentioned that, but they primarily have bacteria living in their digestive tract, which the worm is one long digestive tract. And it's the type of bacteria. They eat the organic matter, and the bacteria digests it, and so they are not. Worms are not a problem for fungal, so don't worry. They're not eating the mycelium. Not a problem. So the let's see. Okay, Deportee says from Dominica, West Indies. All right, West Indies in the house, and have been enjoying your garden, health, and life tips. All right, my friend, this is what it's all about. Graham says, the problem is, what is the grass fed with? Well, this is also true. It's very true. In this case, I see what they are doing, and they are just growing on site because I went there, and they on site are growing the grass for them, the hay, for them to eat. They don't spray it with anything. There's no need. Here, as in Ireland, I'm sure, there's no need for fertilizers for hay because it will grow really well. But ideally, you'll be having your own, okay? So once I get the land, the videos will be coming for how to nourish the hay yourself by your own homemade fertilizers so you never spray with anything. And we'll be doing it from the ground up, guys. We'll be making the brews that then fertilizes the hay that then the cows eat, and then we will butcher the cows, all that stuff. It's all coming in the school, okay? So Graham says, urea and vaccines in the cows. I've investigated it here in Ireland. Ooh, yeah. See, you don't want to mess with none of that. So preferably, well, you don't want to mess with that kind of stuff. So you're going to have to source it from someone who doesn't play those games. So here, like the Amish, they don't mess with any of that stuff. It's a whole sort of subculture in America, the Amish. Voltage Nut says, Nate, how much space would an average person need for growing 100% of their fruits and vegetables? Okay, guys, if you're wanting to grow your, this will be the thing. So obviously the best way to thriving health is to eat nutrient-dense food. And in order to do that, these days, you have to grow it yourself for the most part. Farmers markets can be okay, but anyone that's trying to grow it for a profit is not going to be putting the love in it, is not going to infuse the love into every movement that they're doing. And so when you're growing it yourself, there's no thought of a profit or trying to make it bigger or produce more for this or that. None of that matters. All that matters is the quality. 100%. So it won't be the biggest or the heaviest or any of this. It will be the most nutrient dense, and you can tell by the flavor, bursting with the flavor. And so that is why we want to grow our own food for abounding health, to ensure that it's bursting with life and vitamins and minerals. Now, that being said, for you to grow 100% of your fruits and vegetables takes way more space than you think it does. Way more. Now, because for most of us, there would need to be animals involved in that, okay? There doesn't have to be. I've been to cultures where people are 100% vegetarian, but they still will have a cow for milking and cheese and yogurt to get that dairy and to get the proteins and stuff like that. And chickens for eggs and stuff. Even if you don't eat the chickens, you want them for eggs. So that really shifts the land requirements when you're talking about animals. But if you're just talking, so if it's separate from the animals, okay, then, and it depends. Are you totally vegetarian, or are you like me and you eat a foundation of of meat, red meats, and lots of fish and lots of eggs, then but you also grow mostly all of your own veg, then that is much more doable. So for me, I grow potatoes, sweet potatoes, and winter squash, garlic, onions, the peas, and collard greens, all this stuff I grow for myself. But that's not what I'm 100% eating from. Do you see what the difference is here? And so if I was 100% vegetarian, like I was for those 2 years, well, 99% vegetarian, then you could do it with an acre. You could do it with an acre. I mean, you could do it with less, but here is just like 50 by 100. I think the lot is maybe not even quite that. And even though I've got a couple different garden projects around the city that I'm a part of and everything, but for that you could grow all the potatoes that you could eat, in just a 10 by 20 area, you can grow pretty much all the potatoes that you would eat. So that's a way you can do it. You can say, okay, I'm going to grow all my own potatoes. And then 10 by 20 could be enough. Depends on your climate, yes. But then if you want to grow, and you can grow vertically, pole beans are really good. You get a lot per given space. So there's way too many variables to be able to say for sure, okay, 1/8 of an acre per person. Because it depends on what you want to grow and how nutrient dense the food is that you're growing and the calories. If you're going to subsist on salad greens, then it's going to take a lot of salad greens and collard greens, even the nutrient ones like the collard greens. It's going to take a lot. But if you're going to go for the calorie crops, the nutrient dense ones like the potatoes, the sweet potatoes, and all of this, the beans, then it won't take as much because it's more concentrated. So let's see. Fabrizio said, is there a way to make your own toothpaste? I'm tired of slathering on fluoride. That's a great question. And someone please let us know if you come up with a good... I brush my teeth a lot sometimes with coconut oil. And that has a really nice effect in the mouth. Yes? Has a nice effect in the mouth. Sometimes I'll put in sea salt with the coconut oil as like an abrasive. And just because these are natural things I've seen throughout the world, and they work pretty good, but it doesn't give you that. It doesn't give you that sensation, that super clean feeling, Salma Aki says, I like to use Castile soap instead of toothpaste. Gets teeth way cleaner. Really? You use the soap for the toothpaste? I have not tried that. I have not tried that. Let's see. PA says, like I eat 5 acres of greens a person. Yeah. So see what I mean? If you are a hungry person like me, my digestive fire is it's like a raging inferno, in the Ayurveda sort of terminology. My Agni, the digestive fire, is a raging inferno. And so I can just, whatever I put into there, it's like a blast furnace. And the body is always hot, and always like digest food real easy and all that. So I would have to be eating a ton of leafy greens and all that stuff because there's not the calories in it. But let's see here. Somebody said something about what toothpaste to use. Okay, Big Brain says, for toothpaste, I've been doing coconut oil mixed with baking soda. Okay, with some drops of rosemary oil. I like it, but don't spit the oil down the drain. Yeah, that will not be good if you do that. And although, I do actually spit the coconut oil down the drain. So, anyways, maybe that's why it doesn't drain all that well there. But also, this is a really old house. And you know how old pipes get plaque on them? Like old houses, they get just plaque buildup. And when we opened up some of these pipes, to just look at it, it's 100 years, the original pipes. And so there's just all this stuff on the inside. So there's like calcium deposits and all that. And so there's just a tiny little hole in the center of the pipe for all the stuff to go through. So it's constantly getting clogged. And let us see here. And don't forget, moringa tree is a beast. Yes, we don't grow moringa around here, but I would love to when I get the land and build the earth house. Then the south end of it will be a greenhouse that will always be sort of tropical. And so we will have moringa tree there. You can absolutely guarantee. Donna says, I listened to the book Self-Mastery Through Conscious Autosuggestion by Emil Koo, a new way of thinking about things. This book led me to books by Florence Scoville Shin. Have you read any of hers? Absolutely, my friend. When I was really diving deep into all of that stuff, I was all about those books. I forget the exact titles now, but one thing that you guys, here's one. Here is one that it can be a bit much for some people, okay? So here, get your pen and paper ready to write down the title of these books, but they can be a bit much for some people, but they are, there was a time in life that I just was seeking, and I anything with the spiritual knowledge in it, I would devour. You know, I read the Bible, I read the entire Quran, I read the Tao Te Ching, I read the Bhagavad Gita, all of these spiritual texts. I'm talking over many years, and really dove deep into them. And it brought me to all different kinds of books and everything. And here's one of them, The Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. Okay? The Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. And it is old school, definitely, written in 1938. Okay? And but it's just incredible. So I went through the whole book, you know, underlined. That's how I like to read these books. I underline everything and then make all kinds of notes because I read them, you know, multiple times. And so it's just incredible. So if you guys are thinking about the thing like visioneering and manifesting, what is popularly called manifesting and all that, really just engineering your own life, then The Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes, I cannot recommend it high enough. Next week, I will come with some excerpts from it. So I will. Oh, she says all these books are on YouTube for free. Yeah, most of them because they've passed their copyright date, you know, or whatever. So like this is just an example. So every thought sets the fulfillment of its desire into motion in mind. And mind sees the thing as already done. And so this is very much like Bob Proctor and stuff. When he says mind, he's talking about the one universal mind, the one source, the one cosmic Wi-Fi, the mind of God. All of this is all the same thing, the same one. You cannot escape the one. And so it's just every thought sets the fulfillment of its desire into motion. And mind sees the thing as already done. And so this is why we must become the conscious controller of our thoughts, the director of the thoughts. But it starts with being aware of what the thoughts are. Because for most people, they're not even aware that there's a commentator in the head. They go about and it's a stream, a nonstop stream of one thought to the next thought, to boom, 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 and to the next thing. And they actually don't have any control over it. They are just they're like hanging on, and they don't even realize it, but they're just being taken for a ride by the mind. And they think that the voice in the head is who they are. They think that's me speaking to me, who. You know, that once they realize that the voice is there, then they think that that's who they are. And so, yes, it leads you down the rabbit hole, my friend, of self-discovery, and it's just the most magnificent journey you could ever fathom. And I recommend it highly to anyone that feels like there is something more waiting to happen for them. There's something that is on the horizon, but it's not come yet. Even if you're 30 years old, you're 50 years old or whatever, and it's not come. It's just like I'm still kind of waiting for my life to happen. You know, there was always like when we were younger, there's always a thought in your mind that, okay, well, there will be some time when you've like arrived and now you're an adult and now, okay, life is here. Now it's happening. But then as we go on in the years, it's like, okay, well, it's not really happening yet. It hasn't happened yet. But these are all subconscious things, sometimes conscious, but then it just keeps getting pushed off, and people go their entire lifetime preparing to live without ever stepping into the now, which is the only moment life exists, is in the now. And so I highly recommend this journey, my friends. But here's the thing, it doesn't matter what I or anyone would say to you. that can never give you a direct experience of the ultimate reality. You have to go there yourself. You have to be, and you cannot, no one else can bring you there. You have to be led there. So how many of you, by what seems to be pure chance, come across information or knowledge, books, the right kind of book? This could be one, for example. You're watching this random guy on YouTube, me, here right now, and he recommends The Science of Mind, and he gives it an A+ high recommendation. Although it's deep and powerful and a difficult read, highly recommends it. And you go, oh, okay. So then all of a sudden you get it. You get this book. You get an old original copy from the 30s, and you start reading it, and then boom, it something speaks to you within, and it transforms the whole way that you see reality, the whole vantage point, and whoa, and then that leads you to a different book or a different person in life, or that leads you to view a situation that you've had in life completely differently, which takes you down a different direction in life. You're being led through all of this from one thing to the next, but so many people resist being led because they fight it and think that they're in control of it. And so they don't see all the clues. They don't see what the universe is doing for you. The universe is clearing the way for your awakening, your highest awakening. That is what it wants, and you can feel this. And so when you just step out of the way and you let yourself be guided, then it all just starts happening. Books, people, interactions, serendipitous type things. Life becomes a friend to you instead of like a big hassle, to a struggle to live life and all of that. No, it becomes like this beautiful game. And yeah, so here we are. Yeah, and I'll get to the rest of the books here in a moment. So Tushi, what's up, my friend? Says, everything comes into my life for a reason. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. I just have to be open to recognizing it and taking action. Very well said. That's a good paraphrase of everything I just said. So yes, I like that. Vera Witch Lady says, I've mostly silenced that voice by reading Eckhart, yes, and How to Talk from Faber and Maslish. Okay, I actually don't know the How to Talk book, but Eckhart, everything he's ever written or there was some years when I was just hanging on for dear life, and so I would listen to Eckhart tapes. I would go to the library and get the books on CD and stuff, and his lectures and things, and just put them and just listen to them all the time, man. It was fantastic. Because I knew that there was something in there. I was like, man, what he's speaking of is beautiful, and even though I don't understand it at the time, I didn't understand it, but I wanted to, and I could sense that these things, the now and all of this, I could sense what he was talking about. It made sense on a level to my heart, but I couldn't comprehend it. I mean, I could not explain it to anyone because I hadn't experienced it. And so years went by then, and with that knowledge just tucked away in my head, or those words from Eckhart and many other teachers, Papaji, yes, many other spiritual teachers, and people I met in person in India and Thailand and all of this, until things just clicked at one point in life, and then it all became crystal clear. And now I can absolutely listen to any of that, and I can, it all makes perfect sense, 100%. There's no, oh, okay. Shut your phone off, please. So anyways, we won't get much deeper into that, but it's a fantastic thing. So I recommend everyone, if you're feeling that pull, go for it. Okay. Maggie says, from my friend Wendy Kennedy, focus on frequency and be open to form. Yes, everything here is frequency, my friends. Let's see. Graham says, if you look back on your life, it had major changes every 7 years. 7 is the number to life. Days in a week. Dog's life, every 7th wave, it goes on. Okay, 7. Vera Witch Lady, let's see, 7 years. Yeah, it could be, that definitely was a very transformative time in my life 7 years ago. How to Talk is about a communication with children, but I applied it to that inner voice to change it from highly negative to positive. Very nice, Vera. Thank you. Natalie Dumont says, do you have a regular meditation practice? Well, I used to Formally meditate, yes. I used to actually be a meditation teacher at the Indiana Buddhist temple for 2 years. The 2 years I was vegetarian and all that stuff, and it was just wonderful. So I would guide. We'd have big group meditations. This was like pre-COVID, and we would have big, nice group meditations, and I would guide them and stuff, and we would go. I would go with the monks, and we would. I basically like lived there with. I was there every day, and we would go to students to universities and give like talks, and it was just really fantastic. And then we would lead the students on meditations and stuff. So I taught primarily mindfulness of breathing meditation, but then and also metta bhavana with loving kindness meditation, and those were really powerful practices for sure. And I spent a lot of time in that formal type of meditation. But then when it all came together and when the real awakening happened just a few years ago, my entire life became a meditation. Literally every moment is a meditation now. And so everything that I'm doing is in that meditative flow that I used to only be able to get into in deep meditation. Now that is the point that I'm looking from. That is the seat. That is the vantage point. It's hard to describe, but it's so there's no longer the desire and the need for formal meditation just evaporated completely because I'm awake now. It's like now that once you're awake, there's no need because your whole life is a meditation. So it's hard to describe, but yeah, that's why I don't have a formal meditation practice anymore. Although I still do the breathing exercises every morning, which is a meditation for sure. The breath retentions and all that. I still do the sauna and the ice bath, and all of those kind of things are meditations. Absolutely. Let's see here. Matthias, hello, my friend. He says, hi, Nate, joining in late. Yes, better late than never. And Big Brain says, still chopping wood, huh? Oh, absolutely, man. I love chopping wood. Ms. KC, I've done that with Eckhart's teachings too. They are comforting and on a deep and not entirely knowable level. Yes, definitely. And so, let's see, Selma Iki says, Nate, 33 weeks. She's talking about her pregnancy, right? Really felt y'all's energy last week. Thank you. Last week they told me baby wasn't growing fast enough. Turns out they took a bad measurement and baby is perfectly healthy, of course. Yes. Let us all send the love to Selma Akis again, to the unborn baby that she is carrying. And we send to you, my friend, the highest healing energy, the positive energy for a very healthy birth, a remainder of the incubation and all of that, and that you both, that your entire family grows up in a very strong and prosperous atmosphere. Yes, this is what I wish for you, my friend. Let's see. Natalie Dumas says, I get what you are talking about. Does anything throw you out of your flow state? Things used to throw me out of the flow state, definitely. Yeah. And and I would go back into the meditations. I would say, okay, I would use the meditations again to bring me back into that state. And you just repeatedly bring yourself back. This is why you have to have the practices, guys. If you don't have practices that speak to you and that you can go to, then it's going to be really difficult, or maybe it's not even going to happen. But because you need the practice to bring you back for the time. But it's like training wheels in a way. You don't always use the training wheels. It's only for a time. It's I use it like here's the analogy I like to use. If I was going to dig a hole in the garden, I would use a shovel. And after I was done digging the hole, I would put the shovel back. I would not continue to carry around the tool because I used the tool to accomplish a task. And for me, meditation was all about awakening, even though I didn't know what awakening even was. Only looking back can I say that it was about that. But it was all about awakening, but it was a tool. All of these practices were tools to get me into that state. And so once it sort of happened and I just like woke up and I realized I had been dreaming. The entire thing is a dream, my friends. And so I realized this, and then it was like, okay, well, I don't need to continually carry around the shovel anymore. I don't need to carry around the tool that was used to get me there, if that makes any sense. I don't know if it does or not, but yes. So, but the main thing is you just get right back, my friend. Get right back into the flow. And let's see. Natalie says, yay, Selma, congrats, and awesome news about its growth. Yes, yes, positive. Freebird says, wonderful blessings to your baby, Selma. Fabrizio says, what's up with all the white paper all over the black background on your walls? Yes, this is when you try to get organized in life, you know, and I know myself at this point in life, I know the way this organism is sort of structured well enough to know that I am the kind of person that wants to have everything out, spread out, so that I can see it all. Some people have filing cabinets or Google Drives and things, but that does not work for me. That does not work for me to have all the information or knowledge stuffed into one thing. And then, oh yeah, it's all there. Maybe I'll go through my filing cabinet, blah, blah, blah. So I have to have it all like out. And so these are all ideas. There's hundreds of ideas on this side. And there's the hero's journey, the thing when I was really getting into writing the book about, you know, my life and stuff. And just different sayings by Bob Proctor, for example. Here's one. What I hear, I forget. What I see, I remember. What I do, I understand. That is fantastic. Listen to that. I mean, what I hear, I forget. What I see, I remember. What I do, I understand. And this is so true. And so I just have things like that all over the place, and I just look at them, not so much anymore. There's no need because it's become my default pattern now. I already function with that reality. So I don't, this is back when I was using like affirmations and things like that to really, to help redirect my life and stuff. But now, again, those are tools. So you don't have to continually say or read affirmations and stuff. Once they work, which they do incredibly well, once they work, then that becomes your default pattern. And that's just how the energy flows through you. So, but like, for example, here is a really good one that many of you are going to like, and that you already have seen a couple of episodes ago, but done is better than perfect. Now, how many of you are not doing stuff because of fear of not doing it right, or not being able, well, now's not the time because I can't do it perfectly right. And so what ends up happening is you never do anything, or you never do the thing that you're waiting to get perfect. And so, yes, done is better than perfect in so many cases. You know, we're not building a piano here. And so it's not like we're not doing brain surgery, you know. So it's for most things like that are not a brain surgery, then done is better than absolutely perfect, because then you learn from that. And so you do it. And this goes right on with the other saying, you do it. What I do, I understand. So it's all about just get up and do it. And then the other saying is from Bob Proctor, start doing the thing in order to have the energy to do the thing. It's kind of, but does you make sense? It all is sort of the same energy. Just get up and start doing it. And everything, you'll have the energy to do the thing. You'll learn from done. Just get it done. Just get it done. And you'll learn for next time. So that is super helpful things that helped me when I was coming out of the fog and stuff, and just, deep depression, guys, deep. I mean, this is going on 6 years now. It is 6 years, like a deep depression, you know, and just a life altering, a dark night of the soul for sure. And something I never thought I was going to come out of. And someday we'll go deeper into that. But man, just through these practices and through grace and through the energy of the one, here we are. It was work at first. Oh my goodness, it was work, and felt miserable and painful, and took several years. But then it all just starts. Once that becomes your default pattern, once you start learning how to speak to the subconscious directly, then everything becomes effortless. Life is effortless these days. I mean, life is effortless. I know that might not make sense. So, let's see here. Natalie says, was there a trigger to your depression? Was there a trigger to the depression? Yes, actually. Well, many triggers, but it had to do with the fact that I set out traveling the world. I left my life here, sold everything when I was in my early 20s, sold everything, and bought a one-way ticket to Sri Lanka, and then spent the next 10 years traveling all over the place, to so many different places. And I didn't know this at the time, but I was searching for the peak experience when I could finally say, okay, like I've arrived, I feel alive, or when I could finally feel a satisfaction within. And most people have a bucket list and they carry it around their whole life, and maybe they'll check off a few things. I checked off the entire bucket list multiple times over, and then had to come up with more stuff to do for more bucket lists, because it just wasn't enough. It wasn't satisfying enough, and then I took a journey with substances, because I was always seeking the peak experience. And that wasn't enough, of course. And so I was going to all these different things, and I got the lifestyle that I wanted. I came into a boatload of money at one point, and then I could buy everything I ever wanted, and all the stuff that I wanted. I was just buying everything that ever appealed to me in any way. And then I just had this mountain of garbage, of stuff that I had to deal with. It was just, and so the depression came from realizing that none of those things was doing it. None of those things. Because for years when I was traveling, I was like, oh, the next place that I go to, once I can climb to the base camp of Mount Everest, whoa, that'll be it. Subconsciously thinking then I'll be satisfied. But I wasn't, because I went there and did that, and it was great, but it didn't do the trick. And so then, if I go, maybe I'll move to Thailand, live on a tropical island, and maybe if I have a foreign girlfriend and I'm a scuba diving instructor and all of that, then okay, yeah, I got that, and I did all of that, and it was great, it was wonderful, but it still didn't satisfy that burning desire. It didn't quench the fire within me, and it was like, okay, this is great, but something is still missing. And so, I know, maybe I'll take a motorcycle and I'll go all around India for several months through the desert on a motorcycle, and then all of this. And I did that, and it was great, but it wasn't satisfying. And so I did the bicycle through Morocco. I landed in Madrid in Spain and rode my bicycle with this beautiful French woman that I deeply miss her. Rode my bicycle through Andalusia, across the Straits of Gibraltar, and into Tangier, all down the coast of Morocco, where I marooned in this fishing village for like 3 months in the village. It was just phenomenal. And those are all great, but it wasn't doing it. And I still felt empty inside. And so I was like, and then I did a foray for a year or so into some drugs, kind of thing. And that definitely wasn't doing it. I mean, it came close for a second, but then it just created a deeper hole. And so the depression came. I was like, all right, well, there's just no fulfillment. There's no ultimate fulfillment in life, because I've done everything I ever wanted to do. I've bought everything I ever wanted. I have the ideal vehicle I always wanted, all that stuff. And I still feel empty inside. So it was depressing, highly depressing. For a long time, coming to terms with this. Everything felt futile. It felt like there was no point to anything, to life at all. And so then when everything collapsed out west, and I had nowhere else to go, I came back, to where I was from. And so I just poured myself into the practices. Something told me, look, you just have to, everything is changing. Everything's about to change. So you have to pour yourself into the practices. And I did that. And then, then the awakening happened. And now I live a life that is just absolutely the most deepest satisfying. Every moment I have that ultimate satisfaction, because I finally found the realm from which that is possible of coming. And so, yes, that burning, that fire that drove me and brought me out through the world and made me experience that peak experience, that's all, it just dissolved. Till now, there is just a deep well of peace and satisfaction to everything in life. And so, yeah, that's the long-winded story about that. So it's obviously much deeper than all of that, but that is the main thing. That's why it was so depressing, because once you get everything you ever wanted and do everything you ever then, and it's still not it. So yeah, until I found the world, the spiritual world, and that just is, the depth is infinite. So okay. Well, see, it exhausts me when I tell that story. I feel emotionally drained and exhausted now. So it's so fortunately we got only about 5 minutes left. So if you guys have any burning questions, you can let me just go through the books real quick, okay? Because I promised that I would do. So another fantastic book, Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton. This is really the foundation of making change in your life, and how thoughts influence how our genetics are expressed. So many people want to say that it's genetic trait, it's genetics, or it's a family, lineage kind of. No, you can break free from all of that. No matter what your genes are, how your thoughts are cultivated determines what genes are switched on and which are switched off, including illness, including what seems like addiction, including depression. All of these things can be switched on and off based upon the belief that we hold. Everything comes down to belief. And this examines it on a chemical, physical, biological level. So, yes, Ben Hudson, epigenetics. That's right. That's right. More than just genetics. We have the power, the ultimate power. This is what was incredible. This is what is incredible. Once you begin to experience these things in life through reading things like the science of mind and the biology of belief, and you got to start with self-mastery through conscious autosuggestion. That's where you start. Once you experience these things, man, it just feels, you start to understand, I'm not the victim. I'm not the victim. I'm not the victim of anything, actually, because I have the power. And once you experience this, it builds on itself. At first, you have to tell yourself this. At first, you have to, okay, I have the power to be happy. Yeah, okay, well, why don't I feel happy? Why does nothing have a purpose? Why does it seem like there's no point to anything? Okay, well, just keep telling myself this. Yeah, it feels like that at first. But if you do it with an honest heart, a real intention, then you will start to see, little by little, you'll see a little, whoa, okay. Okay, I felt that felt really positive. Wow. Or that interaction in your life will improve with a person. And you say, wow, okay, so that person used to act this certain way towards me, but they've softened or something. Now they're very receptive to me. Or oh, that's cool, okay. And once you start seeing those things, then your belief begins to increase and solidify. And then that's when the real magic starts to happen. Because as your belief gets stronger based upon seeing it functioning in your life, then you have more power to do it. To the point where now, if you want to make a change in life, you just go directly to the source and you make the change. And your life, you can change anything about yourself at any time. It's incredible. So, here's another one, guys. You got to read this book, okay? So this is a switch. This is more, because the Viking spirituality is spirituality, definitely, all of that. But we also have to have our feet planted on the ground. We also have to see and be aware of what is happening around us. And so in a worldly sense, this book, Entropy by Jeremy Rifkin, highly recommend it, guys. In fact, yes, get it, read it, and then we will talk, okay? We can talk more about it. But it really is an eye-opener, all right? So that's a really good one. Also, guys, if you are like a young man, or if you have a young man in your life that likes to read, or maybe that is struggling to understand what a man is, because like in the Western culture, we don't have, we don't have any of those ceremonial things like they do in indigenous cultures where, okay, you go through this ceremony and you prove yourself a man, and then the tribe after that, if you come out successful, everyone, the society, the tribe recognizes you as a man. And now, and you feel the transformation. through this initiation principle. We've lost all of that in our society. And so that is a very important thing, especially for a man, for a woman as well, but definitely for a man. And so that can leave us unclear on the transition between boyhood and manhood. And what does it even mean? What is expected of me as a man? What does any of that mean? So that's a deep topic, but one book that can really help with all of that. This was written in like the 90s or something. Look at these couple of good guys. But Being a Man, a guide to the new masculinity, appreciating gender differences, relating to your father, enriching your inner life, finding meaningful work, making male friends, achieving male integrity. This is a really good book for a young man. I can say that. Having read this book many years ago now, I can say that. So I would recommend that to you guys, okay? Now, of course, there's As a Man Thinketh. We already know we do that all the time on this channel. Okay, that'll be good for now. We'll just go ahead and... I got other ones, but we'll save them for later. So those should be plenty for you guys. Let's see here. Okay, Marcel says, I always arrive on time to hear exactly what I need to. Crazy how many times questions I have are answered here. Thank you, Sensei. Yes, Marcel, that's exactly what we were just talking about, is how once you open yourself up and get out of the way of what the universe is trying to do. Guys, the universe is trying to, with the universe, God, the one, the spirit that moves in all things, whatever you want to call the one, it is pulling for you. It wants your awakening. You can feel it. You can feel that the universe wants you to awaken and be free. Awakening is freedom, the ultimate liberation. Liberation from what? You will find out. You will have to find out. But all you have to do is get out of the way. And so you will be guided. Believe this. If there's going to be one prayer or one affirmation, here it is, guys. This is the one that changed it, the most powerful of all for me. Infinite Spirit goes before me and opens the way. Infinite wisdom tells me what to do and what to say. Infinite Spirit goes before me and opens the way. Infinite wisdom tells me what to do and what to say. You are guided, my friends. I will see you next time. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate you guys, man. This was a good exchange of energy, guys. So I hope that if you're watching this after the fact, leave your thoughts and click the thumbs up button so that we can get more people into the tribe. Also, I think I'm just going to be on this channel. This is all I'm going to be doing from now on. It's just these lives where we just exchange this energy, because I love the energy exchange. When I make a video, there's nowhere near the energy exchange, because we're all here right now in the ether. And that's what's incredible. When I just make a video, it's like, it's nothing like this. So that's why I'm just going to do these on this channel from now on. We'll do like one a week. So if you want to share this channel with people and get them into the tribe, that would be great, because it's always good. The more input that we can get, and you guys are all having side conversations, which is awesome, and we're all sending positive energy to like Selma and her baby, and it's just all positive, guys. Super positive. So I will see you next time. Thank you.